Ladies and gentlemen, do you feel the pull to return to someone who shattered your heart, thinking perhaps this time it will be different? Stop and think. Imagine holding a vase that once broke. No matter how perfectly you piece it back together, the cracks remain visible. This is what happens when you revisit a relationship that has already proven its inability to nurture you. In today's message, we'll explore why you owe it to yourself to move forward instead of returning to what has already caused you pain. If you've ever felt the temptation to go back to someone who has broken you, this speech will give you the clarity to walk away for good. When someone breaks your trust or spirit, they leave more than just a scar, they leave a lesson. The pain they caused is your reminder to choose differently, to value yourself more than their temporary apologies. Often people return to the source of their heartbreak, clinging to memories of better times, ignoring the warning signs that nothing significant has changed. But you deserve more than the false hope of what could be. You deserve the reality of what is. True change is rare and takes time. It requires genuine effort and accountability, not just words of regret. Before you consider going back, ask yourself, has this person truly transformed, or are they still the same individual who caused you to question your worth? At the heart of every decision we make about relationships, whether romantic, familial, or platonic, lies the question of self-worth. How much value do you place on yourself? How deeply do you believe in your own inherent dignity and the respect you deserve? These questions are crucial, especially when considering whether to go back to someone who has broken you. The answer to these questions will determine not just the quality of your relationships, but also the quality of your life. Respecting yourself begins with understanding your intrinsic value. You are not defined by the opinions or actions of others. Your worth is not contingent on someone's ability to love you correctly or treat you kindly. It is something you carry simply because you exist. Yet so often, people allow others to dictate their value. When someone hurts you deeply, betraying your trust, disregarding your feelings, or devaluing your presence, it is easy to internalize that pain and begin questioning your own worth. This is where the cycle begins. In the absence of a strong sense of self-worth, you may find yourself justifying the mistreatment you endured. Maybe they didn't mean to hurt me, you think. Or if I just try harder, they'll change. But the reality is that no amount of effort on your part can make someone else value you if they are not willing to do so themselves. Trying to earn the respect of someone who has already shown they don't value you is like pouring water into a broken vessel. It will never hold. True respect for yourself means recognizing when a relationship is harmful and walking away, even if it hurts. It is not an easy choice. The pull to return is often rooted in fear, the fear of being alone, the fear of not finding someone better, or the fear of losing what little connection you have left. But these fears are illusions created by the very wounds inflicted upon your self-esteem. When you respect yourself, you learn to see beyond those fears and understand that being alone in peace is far better than staying in chaos. Respecting yourself also means refusing to settle for less than you deserve. It means not allowing someone's half-hearted apologies or empty promises to sway your judgment. Words are easy to say, but respect is shown through consistent action. When someone has broken you, they need to prove through tangible change that they are capable of treating you better. And even then, it is entirely up to you whether you choose to trust them again. Respecting yourself means understanding that forgiveness does not always mean reconciliation. It is okay to forgive someone and still choose to keep them out of your life. Another key aspect of self-worth is understanding that love is not supposed to hurt. Yes, relationships take effort, and disagreements are normal. But there is a difference between healthy challenges and toxic behavior. When someone has repeatedly disrespected you, ignored your boundaries, or diminished your value, they are showing you that their version of love comes at the expense of your well-being. Respecting yourself means refusing to accept love that causes more harm than healing. Self-worth is also about how you speak to yourself. When someone has broken you, their actions may leave behind a trail of self-doubt. You might find yourself thinking, maybe I'm not good enough, or what did I do wrong? But these thoughts are lies. They are remnants of someone else's inability to appreciate you, not a reflection of your true worth. Respecting yourself means replacing those lies with affirmations of truth. I am worthy of love. I deserve kindness and respect. I am enough just as I am. Respecting yourself also involves taking responsibility for your healing. It is not about blaming yourself for what happened, but about deciding how you will move forward. When you choose to prioritize your healing over the possibility of rekindling a broken relationship, you are affirming your value. You are saying, I matter enough to protect my peace and pursue a healthier, happier future. Self-worth is the foundation upon which all your decisions are built. It influences how you let others treat you, how you set boundaries, and how you respond to pain. When you respect yourself, you send a clear message to the world and to yourself that you are not willing to accept anything less than what you deserve. And in doing so, you pave the way for relationships and experiences that honor the beauty and strength of who you truly are. Pain is often regarded as something to be avoided, suppressed, or forgotten. However, pain carries with it a profound wisdom that can guide us toward growth and transformation if we allow ourselves to learn from it. When someone breaks you, whether through betrayal, neglect, or emotional harm, it leaves a mark on your heart and mind. But within that hurt lies an opportunity to uncover truths about yourself, your boundaries, and the dynamics that shape the relationship. Learning from pain is not about dwelling on it, but about using it as a teacher to move forward with clarity and strength. Pain has a way of illuminating the areas of our lives that need attention. When someone hurts you, it forces you to confront what you truly value in relationships and what you cannot tolerate. It brings into focus the red flags you may have ignored, the compromises you made at your own expense, and the patterns that led to the breaking point. This reflection is not meant to blame yourself, but to help you understand the role you played in the situation so you can avoid repeating it in the future. One of the most important lessons pain teaches is the significance of boundaries. If someone has broken you, it often means boundaries were crossed or disregarded entirely. Pain reveals where those boundaries need to be reinforced and where they may not have existed at all. It teaches you to identify your limits and communicate them clearly so you can protect yourself from similar harm in the future. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are safeguards to ensure that only those who respect you can come close. Another lesson from pain is recognizing the power of your intuition. Often people look back on a broken relationship and realize they ignored their gut feelings. Perhaps there were small signs of disrespect, inconsistency, or manipulation that you brushed aside, convincing yourself that things would improve. Pain sharpens your awareness and helps you trust your instincts. It reminds you to listen to that inner voice, which is often more honest and protective than the mind that rationalizes harmful behavior. Pain also teaches resilience. When someone breaks you, it can feel like the end of the world. The weight of the hurt may seem unbearable, and the idea of moving forward might feel impossible. But as you navigate through the pain, you begin to realize just how strong you are. Each day that you choose to heal, to reflect, and to move forward is a testament to your inner strength. Pain strips away illusions and reveals the depth of your resilience, a reminder that you are capable of overcoming far more than you think. Perhaps one of the most overlooked lessons from pain is the importance of self-love. When someone breaks you, it can leave you questioning your worth and doubting whether you are enough. But pain also holds the key to rediscovering yourself. It pushes you to look inward, to nurture the parts of yourself that were neglected, and to remind yourself that your value is not determined by someone else's actions. Self-love grows in the soil of pain as you learn to prioritize your needs, honor your feelings, and rebuild your confidence. Pain also teaches the value of patience. Healing is not a linear process. It takes time, effort, and grace. When someone breaks you, the journey to recovery can feel frustratingly slow. But through that process, you learn to be patient with yourself, to celebrate small victories, and to trust that healing will come in its own time. Pain teaches you that growth cannot be rushed and that every step forward, no matter how small, is significant. Pain offers the gift of perspective. Once you have healed from being broken, you can look back on the experience with a clearer mind. You begin to see how that pain shaped you, how it taught you lessons that no easy path could have provided. You may not ever be grateful for the hurt itself, but you can be grateful for the strength, wisdom, and clarity it brought into your life. Pain broadens your understanding of yourself and others, deepening your empathy and sharpening your discernment. Lessons from pain are not learned overnight. They require reflection, vulnerability, and a willingness to grow. But when you embrace pain as a teacher rather than an enemy, you unlock its transformative power. It is through pain that you gain the clarity to recognize what you truly deserve, the courage to walk away from what no longer serves you, and the wisdom to build healthier and more fulfilling relationships in the future. Pain is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a new chapter, one defined by growth, resilience, and self-discovery. In life, we are constantly faced with decisions that either move us forward or pull us back. When someone has hurt us, especially in a way that leaves emotional scars, the decision to either stay or leave becomes one of the most critical choices we can make for our personal growth. Returning to someone who has already broken you is often a regression, a step back into a place that no longer serves your highest potential. While it may seem comforting in the short term, the truth is that regressing into old patterns is detrimental to your emotional health, your peace, and your future. True growth demands that you release what has hurt you, even when it feels like a safe or familiar option. When we regress into toxic relationships or situations, we allow ourselves to be held back by old habits, old wounds, and old patterns. It is as though we are choosing to live in a space where progress is impossible, where we keep reliving the same painful cycles. The reason it feels so tempting to go back to someone who has broken you is because we often romanticize the past. We remember the good moments and convince ourselves that things could be different this time, that they have changed, or that we can somehow fix the situation. But the reality is that true growth happens outside of our comfort zones, in the space where we are willing to let go of the things that no longer serve us, no matter how familiar or tempting they may seem. Growth, by nature, requires us to let go of the past and move into the unknown. When we hold on to what has already hurt us, we are preventing ourselves from experiencing the future we deserve. By returning to a broken relationship, we deny ourselves the chance to meet new people, discover new experiences, and learn new things that could propel us forward. We are choosing to stay in the land of the familiar, even if it means sacrificing our peace and happiness. Growth, on the other hand, invites us to embrace the unknown, to trust that letting go will lead us to something better. Furthermore, going back to someone who is broken, you can delay or even prevent the healing process. Emotional wounds cannot heal in the same environment that caused the pain. Just as physical wounds need time and proper care to heal, emotional wounds need distance from the source of the injury. When we return to someone who has hurt us, we expose ourselves to the same harm, keeping the wound open and preventing it from healing properly. Growth requires that we give ourselves the time and space to heal, to reflect, and to rebuild our strength. Staying in a toxic relationship keeps us in a perpetual state of emotional flux, never fully allowing ourselves to recover and move on. One of the hardest aspects of choosing growth over regression is dealing with the fear of the unknown. Leaving behind something familiar, even if it has hurt us, can feel like stepping into a void. We may fear that we will never find happiness again, or that we will be alone forever. These fears are real, but they are also based on the illusion that the past is the only thing that can bring us happiness. The truth is that by choosing growth, we are opening ourselves up to infinite possibilities. Growth means trusting that life has more to offer than what we have already experienced, and that stepping out of our comfort zones will bring us closer to the life we are meant to live. Growth also brings with it the opportunity to redefine what we want and need from relationships. When we stay in situations that no longer serve us, we often settle for less than we deserve because we are afraid of being alone or afraid of change. But by choosing to grow, we gain clarity about our desires, our values, and the kind of love and respect we deserve. We stop settling for relationships that cause pain, and instead we start to attract people who align with our vision for the future, people who uplift us, support us, and love us in ways that nurture our growth. When we choose growth over regression, we begin to cultivate a deeper understanding of ourselves. Each time we walk away from a harmful relationship, we affirm that we are worthy of respect and love, and we prove to ourselves that we have the strength to overcome challenges. These moments of self-affirmation help build our confidence, and as we grow, we begin to see that the painful experiences of the past were not defeats, but lessons that shaped us into who we are today. Growth over regression is a mindset, a decision to prioritize our well-being, our peace, and our future. It means choosing to move forward, no matter how difficult or uncertain the path may seem. It requires courage to let go of the past and trust that life will lead us to greater things. When we stop looking back at what has broken us and instead focus on what lies ahead, we open ourselves up to a life full of possibility, fulfillment, and joy. We become the architects of our own future, empowered by the lessons of the past, but not bound by them. Emotional healing is one of the most intricate and personal journeys a person can embark on, particularly when it involves recovering from the deep pain of being broken by someone who was once trusted. The healing process is never immediate, nor is it linear. It ebbs and flows with moments of strength followed by unexpected waves of vulnerability. Many people expect that the pain will fade as soon as they decide to leave or move away from the person who hurt them. However, emotional healing is not something that can be rushed or completed on a set timeline. It takes as long as it takes, and often it requires more than just physical separation. It demands an internal transformation. The first step in emotional healing is acknowledging the pain. Denying or suppressing your feelings in an attempt to move on too quickly can prolong the recovery process. Pain needs to be felt, understood, and processed. When someone breaks your trust or hurts you emotionally, it's a form of grief that must be honored. Trying to push it away can cause emotional numbness or confusion down the road. It's essential to allow yourself to fully feel the emotions that come with being hurt, whether that's sadness, anger, betrayal, or disappointment. These emotions, as difficult as they are part of the healing process. They are the body's way of releasing what is no longer needed, paving the way for emotional growth. As time progresses, emotional healing begins with understanding. It's important to understand not only what happened, but also why it happened. Why did this person break your trust, and how did the dynamics of the relationship contribute to the pain? Understanding the circumstances that led to the betrayal allows you to remove the weight of confusion and self-blame. It also helps you to gain clarity on what you need in the future to protect yourself emotionally. This introspective understanding is not about excusing the person who broke you, but about gaining insight so you can prevent similar experiences in the future. Healing also requires a shift in perspective. It can be easy to hold on to the belief that you will never be whole again after being broken. However, the truth is that emotional healing often creates space for a more authentic and grounded version of yourself to emerge. When we experience deep hurt, we are often forced to look at the areas of our lives where we need to grow. Healing reveals our strengths and resilience, showing us just how capable we are of overcoming adversity. It is through this process of feeling broken that we often find the foundation of our inner strength, a strength we might never have realized we had if not for the emotional wounds we endured. An essential part of healing is self-care. After being hurt by someone, it's easy to feel as though you are not worthy of love, kindness, or compassion. These feelings can cloud your judgment and prevent you from taking care of yourself. Yet self-care is crucial to the healing process. It's about taking time to nurture yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally. Whether through engaging in activities that bring you joy, spending time with loved ones who uplift you, or simply taking moments to relax and recharge, self-care helps restore your sense of well-being. Over time, these moments of self-love and care help you rebuild your self-worth, reminding you that you are deserving of peace, happiness, and respect. It's important to remember that emotional healing is not about forgetting or pretending the pain never happened. Rather, it is about learning to live with the scars, understanding that they are a part of your story, but not the whole of it. These scars become part of who you are, teaching you important lessons about resilience, boundaries, and love. In this way, healing brings with it an incredible strength, a power that allows you to face the world with a deeper sense of self-awareness and confidence. One of the most challenging aspects of emotional healing is letting go of the attachment to the person who broke you. It's easy to hold on to the hope that they will change or that somehow the relationship can be mended. However, clinging to a person who has already hurt you only prolongs the healing process and delays your emotional freedom. You must come to the realization that healing is not just about recovering from the pain, it is also about releasing the hold the other person has on you emotionally. The freedom that comes from letting go is a key part of the healing process, and while it may be difficult, it is necessary for your personal growth. Healing is also about forgiveness. Forgiving someone who has broken you doesn't mean condoning their actions or allowing them back into your life. Forgiveness is a gift you give to yourself, a way to release the emotional burden of holding on to resentment or anger. By forgiving, you free yourself from the grip of the past, allowing yourself to move forward with peace and without the weight of bitterness. Forgiveness allows you to reclaim your energy and your emotional power, taking back control of your narrative rather than letting someone else's actions define your life. Emotional healing is about building new pathways to joy. It's not about erasing the past, but finding new ways to experience happiness and fulfillment. Over time, as the wounds heal, you can begin to look forward with hope, trusting that the future holds new opportunities for love, success, and personal growth. As you heal, you will find that your capacity for joy and love will only expand, enabling you to build healthier, more meaningful relationships in the future. When we allow someone who has already broken us back into our lives, we are sending a message to ourselves about our value and what we believe we deserve. Self-worth is an essential component of our overall well-being. And when it is compromised, it affects all aspects of our lives, from the relationships we form to how we show up in the world. Setting boundaries is one of the most powerful ways to protect and nurture your self-worth. Boundaries are not just about what others can or cannot do to us. They are a reflection of how much we value ourselves and how much we are willing to accept from others. When someone has hurt us, whether emotionally, mentally, or physically, returning to that person without addressing the underlying issues means we are disregarding the very essence of who we are. We are telling ourselves that the pain we endured wasn't enough to teach us the value of protecting ourselves and that we are willing to tolerate disrespect, dishonesty, or mistreatment. Each time we allow ourselves to go back to someone who has broken us, we diminish our sense of self-worth, often without realizing it. Over time, this repeated disregard for our boundaries can erode our confidence, leading us to feel unworthy of better treatment. We may begin to believe that we are undeserving of love, kindness, and respect simply because we continue to return to a person who has shown us otherwise. The key to protecting your self-worth lies in understanding that you are deserving of peace, joy, and love without compromise. It is not selfish or unreasonable to demand respect from those around you. It is essential for your mental and emotional well-being. Setting boundaries is about knowing your limits and standing firm in them. Boundaries are your way of saying, this is how I expect to be treated, and anything less than that is unacceptable. They are not just for protecting yourself from others, they are also a way to protect yourself from yourself, your own fears, insecurities, and the temptation to settle for less than you deserve. The act of setting boundaries begins with recognizing your worth. It requires you to look inward and remind yourself that you are valuable not because of what you can do for others, but because of who you are at your core. When you truly understand your worth, you will stop tolerating behavior that doesn't align with that truth. Returning to someone who has already broken you means that you are allowing them to dictate your emotional reality, and by doing so, you are placing your value in their hands instead of your own. Creating boundaries also helps you avoid emotional exhaustion. It can be draining to constantly try to rebuild trust with someone who has broken it. The emotional roller coaster that comes with going back to someone who has already caused harm can leave you feeling depleted, anxious, and frustrated. These relationships can keep you stuck in a cycle of emotional highs and lows, preventing you from fully experiencing peace. Boundaries act as a safeguard against this cycle. They allow you to create a space where you can heal, reflect, and move forward without being constantly pulled back into chaos. When you stand firm in your boundaries, you ensure that you are not giving more than you are able to give, preserving your energy for things and people who uplift you. Setting boundaries is an act of self-love. It is a way of honoring yourself and showing that you value your peace and happiness above all else. Self-love is not just about affirming your worth in moments of emotional strength, but also about recognizing when something or someone is not in alignment with your values and deciding to walk away from it. You deserve to be in relationships that nurture you, support your growth, and encourage you to become the best version of yourself. If someone consistently breaks your trust or causes you pain, they are not contributing positively to your life, and returning to them only reinforces a toxic pattern that can prevent you from attracting healthier relationships in the future. Additionally, boundaries help you establish trust in yourself. When you let go of someone who has broken you, you are making a commitment to yourself, to your healing, your peace, and your well-being. Trusting yourself enough to say no to what no longer serves you is a declaration of self-respect. The more you honor your boundaries, the more you strengthen your ability to trust your own judgment and decisions. You begin to rely on your own intuition and self-awareness instead of relying on others to define your worth or dictate your happiness. Trusting yourself allows you to move forward with confidence, knowing that you are making choices that align with your highest good. Setting boundaries frees you to focus on your own growth. When you stop returning to people or situations that have hurt you, you create space for new opportunities to come into your life. Boundaries allow you to devote your energy to things that matter, your career, your passions, your personal development, and the relationships that truly serve you. As you honor your boundaries, you begin to attract people who respect you, who value you, and who are capable of offering the kind of support and love that you deserve. These healthy relationships will not only enhance your life, but also propel you forward in ways that you never imagined possible. Your self-worth is the foundation upon which all of your relationships and experiences are built. By setting clear boundaries and refusing to go back to someone who has broken you, you are affirming that you are worthy of love, respect, and peace. You are taking control of your emotional reality, protecting yourself from harm, and ensuring that your future is filled with healthy, nurturing relationships. It is through these boundaries that you honor who you are, create space for your own growth, and ultimately become the best version of yourself. Letting go is one of the most difficult yet empowering actions a person can take in the aftermath of emotional pain. When someone breaks us, whether through betrayal, hurtful words, or broken promises, the instinct is often to hold on. We want to keep hoping, keep believing that things will change or that the relationship can be fixed. However, the reality is that holding on to someone who has already hurt us only keeps us tethered to the past, preventing us from healing and moving forward. Letting go doesn't mean we stop caring or that we erase the significance of what the person meant in our lives. It means we are choosing to release the emotional grip they have on us, to free ourselves from the weight of the pain they caused, and to create space for a healthier future. The power of letting go lies in its ability to give us back control over our lives. When we are emotionally tied to someone who has hurt us, we often feel as though we are at the mercy of their actions and decisions. We wait for them to come back to apologize or to prove that they are capable of change. This constant cycle of hope and disappointment can lead to emotional exhaustion. Letting go breaks that cycle. It is an act of reclaiming your power and saying that you no longer need to wait for someone else to validate your worth or to change in order for you to feel whole again. Letting go is not about forgetting what happened. It's not about pretending the pain didn't exist or that it didn't matter. It's about accepting that the past cannot be changed and that by holding on, you are only hurting yourself further. Each time you hold on to someone who has already broken you, you are asking to relive the pain over and over again. Letting go means choosing to stop living in the past. It means recognizing that the past is a chapter of your story, but it does not define you. You are more than the hurt you've experienced, and there are new chapters waiting for you to write. One of the biggest obstacles to letting go is fear. Fear that we will never find someone else who understands us, fear that we are unworthy of better treatment, or fear that we will be alone forever. These fears are natural, but they often stem from a place of insecurity and self-doubt. They tell us that we must hold on to what we know, even if it's painful, because the unknown feels too scary. But the truth is, letting go opens the door to endless possibilities. It frees us to embrace the future with an open heart, without being shackled by past pain. When we let go, we create space for new experiences, new relationships, and new opportunities to grow. We begin to trust that by releasing the past, we are making room for something better to enter our lives. Letting go also allows us to forgive not for the other person's sake, but for our own. Forgiveness is often misunderstood as excusing someone's behavior or giving them a pass for their actions. In reality, forgiveness is about releasing the burden of resentment that weighs us down. When we hold on to anger, bitterness, or thoughts of revenge, we remain emotionally tied to the person who hurt us. Letting go means forgiving them not because they deserve it, but because we deserve peace. Forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves, freeing us from the emotional chains that keep us attached to the past. It allows us to heal, to move forward, and to stop letting someone else's actions dictate our happiness. The process of letting go is also about self-discovery. Often we hold on to people because we fear that without them, we won't know who we are or what our life will look like. The truth is, when we let go of toxic relationships or situations, we begin to discover more about ourselves. We learn who we are outside of the person who hurt us, outside of the relationship we've been clinging to. Letting go gives us the chance to reconnect with our true selves, our passions, dreams, and values. It is through this process that we begin to realize that we don't need anyone else to complete us. We are whole as we are whole as we are. Letting go allows us to heal from the emotional wounds inflicted by others. Healing takes time, but it is impossible to begin the process while we are still holding on to someone who has already caused us pain. Just as physical wounds require time and care to heal, emotional wounds need space to mend. When we let go of the person who broke us, we begin to give ourselves the time and emotional space needed to heal fully. We stop reopening the wound by revisiting the person or the situation, and we allow the natural healing process to take place. In time, the wound becomes less raw, and the emotional scars start to fade, replaced by a stronger sense of self. Letting go is also a crucial part of setting healthy boundaries. When we hold on to someone who has hurt us, we are allowing them to continuously cross our boundaries. By choosing to let go, we are reinforcing the importance of those boundaries and signaling to ourselves that we are deserving of respect. This act is empowering, as it is a clear message that we will no longer tolerate behavior that is disrespectful or harmful. As we continue to let go of toxic relationships, we become more skilled at identifying what is acceptable in our lives and what is not. The more we practice letting go, the more we strengthen our ability to protect our emotional health. Letting go is not just about removing people from our lives. It's about removing the emotional baggage they leave behind. It's about freeing ourselves from the negative thought patterns, the fear, the anger, and the self-doubt that may have been born from that relationship. Letting go is a complete release of the emotional weight that has been weighing us down. It allows us to step into a future filled with possibility, confidence, and the peace that comes with knowing we are no longer controlled by the past. It is an act of self-love and self-respect, one that opens the door to new beginnings and the promise of a brighter, more fulfilling future.